Guys, I'm gonna make a quick video. I got recently asked, how can you get deals done with only a budget of $1,000 a month? Guys, that is a very low budget. I think for me right now, we get deals for roughly $3,000 to $3,500 a deal. So if you got a deal and you only spent $1,000, that'd be pretty great. Now, he didn't ask, can he get a deal every month for the 1,000? But he said basically he only had $1,000 a month. Now, if my kids came to me and said, "Daddy, look, I only have $1,000 and I want to get a deal. I want to get into the business. What would I do?" This is exactly what I would do. So let me break it down to you very, very quickly. I only had $1,000. The very first thing is I need some phone numbers and I need a list. I need somebody I can start reaching out to. So I would use PropStream. PropStream is exactly who I use currently. They have the best data. They recently bought out Batch Leads, is why their data actually got a lot better. And more importantly, their phone numbers got a lot better. Nothing worse than starting to call people and you get a lot of wrong numbers, and there's a lot of services out there that have really watered down their data when it comes to phone numbers. So I'm going to use PropStream. That's going to cost me roughly $100. But more importantly is, what list am I going after? Guys, I absolutely love an absentee list. Now, I'm not going to get a massive absentee list because you can get hundreds of thousands of people when it comes to an absentee list. I'm going to get my list down to roughly 5,000 people. Now, PropStream for the $100 a month, I believe, will allow you to get about 10,000 pulls as far as contacts go. But we're going to save that other 5,000 for the buyers list. Okay, so I'm going to try to niche my criteria down to only 5,000 people. Now that means I might get the sales price down. I might increase the equity so that my leads will be smaller and smaller, so that when I go after these people, I know that there's motivation there. They've owned the property for a long time. And we can talk about that on another video, or you can reach out to me if you have questions about how to niche that down. But that's exactly what I want to do. I want to get roughly about 5,000 people when it comes to the sellers. Then I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to get about 5,000 buyers. I'm going to niche that exact area. So I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. That's what I would do. I'm going to find cash buyers, people who've bought properties in that area. And I'm going to niche that down because I'm going to have to reach out to them as well. Next is exactly how am I going to reach out to them? I only have $1,000. I have to maximize that money. I got to reach out to people quickly. Smarter Contact, that's what I use for all my texting services. That's going to be roughly $800. That's going to be a big chunk of your money, but that $800 service allows me to text roughly 20,000 people. Now, the reason I use Smarter Contact is my delivery rate is in the high 90s, like 97%, 98%. I know that people are getting the message. And on Smarter Contact, I can be very direct on, I want to buy your house. I'm looking to buy a property. I don't have to like skirt around some weird kind of like language like a lot of the other services do. And if you use those services, you know exactly what I'm talking about. With Smarter Contact, they get the job done when it comes to delivering and actually getting responses. Okay, so now I know we only have 5,000 leads when it comes to sellers. That's no problem because we're going to text that same list every week for 3 weeks. Same thing with our buyers. We have 5,000 buyers. We're going to text that list at least once, obviously, right? So we're not going to go over our budget and say, "Hey, I have a vacant property in this area. I'm a wholesaler. Do you want to be on my buyers list?" And we're going to start drawing all those people out so we know when it's time to go sell my deal, we have a buyers list. Now, the reason I'm going to text this list 3 times once a week, you're only a one-man band. You only have $1,000, okay? So when you text that first 5,000 people, you want to be able to answer the phone. You're going to have those numbers come, when people call in, go directly to your personal cell phone. So you can be the one talking to people. You can be the one following up. You don't want to text 20,000 people one day and you're going to fumble through it and you're not going to be able to do follow-ups and actually get a deal done. We're not just trying to get through people for the sake of getting through it, right? We actually want to talk to people and actually get a deal done. The next, guys, so we've texted those people. Next is we're going to do sniping for dollars. I put $150 on that. I'm even including a little bit of gas money. Okay, but what simply means is we're going to take yellow notepad. We're going to write, "I want to buy this property. Here's my phone number." We put it in a vanilla envelope and we drive around the city looking for distressed properties and we tape that to their front door. Okay, we get deals from this all the time. Remember, you have $1,000 budget. You're going to have to use a lot of time and a lot of sweat equity if you guys want to get a deal. Okay. Eventually, if you guys are doing a lot of deals, you might not have time to do this yourself. You might have to pay somebody to do that. That's what I do in my case. But like, you definitely want to get out there and start doing that. And you also want to write down these addresses. What was the address? So that you can go back to PropStream and you can start looking those people up and you can start manually dialing all the people you get from sniping for dollars. Now, the reason that we call this sniping for dollars versus driving for dollars is the only difference is I'm actually leaving something there at the property. I'm not just writing down the address and calling them. I'm hoping that they will also call me, but I'm not going to just hope on that. Like I said, we're going to reach out and we're going to call these people. And then again, I even put $50 here for your lot boxes and contracts. People forget about that. Somebody calls you and says, yes, I have a deal. Let's do a deal together. You want to be able to put a lot box on that property, maybe get an extra key made, and you definitely need contracts. Boy, I tell you, one of the most embarrassing things that have happened is you're going to a property and you completely forget to get a contract that you know the person's going to sign and you don't even have an ink pen there to do it. So we want to get those contracts ready to go. Let's talk about free. What can be done for free? Well, manual calls. If you have your list, get to grinding. You need to be making 100 phone calls minimum a day. Okay, you've already pulled a 5,000 list. 100 calls a day for 30 days, that's at least 3,000. Keep grinding that list. Keep calling them every single day. Hey, every single day. Next is my buyers list. It doesn't cost anything for me to start building that buyers list. I can go into Facebook groups. Hey, I'm a wholesaler. I'm looking to wholesale deals. I'm boots on the ground in this area. And you start attracting that list. I can start spending time building my buyers list. Just like when I send those texts, I can start building that list. One of the worst things can happen when you finally get a deal and you stand there and say, wow, what do I do with it now? You want to have people ready to go to buy it. Now, quick disclaimer is I don't work for my buyers. I'm all for them telling me, hey, I like this area, I like that area. This is my buy box. I'm all for that and I like to get that information. But I personally don't just say, let me go out here and run out here and try to find a deal for John because I know John likes 123 Main Street type area. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not going to limit what I'm doing as far as going out there and finding deals. Somebody brings me some vacant land. I'm not going to say, oh, I don't do vacant land because, my buyers don't like vacant land. You got a good deal and you're selling at a discount, I will then go find a buyer who's interested in vacant land or in that type of property, okay? The next is one of the underrated things that I don't hear a lot of people talking about that we make a lot of money on is actually asking my buyers list, hey, do you have anything you want to get rid of? I know you're in the game, you buy rentals, you do fix and flips, you're always moving and shaking. Do you have any deals you would like to sell? It's a lot more transparent with those guys. They say, yeah, you know what, I do. I just had a tenant leave, this is what I take for it. And so I start playing middleman between people on my buyers list. At least once a month, I ask my buyers list, hey, do you have anything vacant? You have anything coming up? Anything you want to get rid of? People are always, including myself, adjusting their portfolio and trying to make deals happen, okay? So this will not cost you anything else just to ask buyers, do they have anything they want to get rid of? Investor Lift, the free version, which is where you just get to see the properties, not where you get to upload properties, is another way we do a lot of deals for free. Now, quick disclaimer, if you're new to the game, this may be difficult for you because you don't know how to necessarily negotiate with another wholesaler, being completely transparent about, hey, I'm going to wholesale this deal. I'm going to add maybe a fee on top or ask them if they will split their fee. This becomes a really good asset when you have a buyer's list already built up, okay? You already have buyers that are ready to go. So you can see, hey, there is a house on 123 Main Street and this is the price. And you're right, I do know some guys. I have a top 3, top 4 guys who love that area. Let me go ahead and give them a call and tell them about the deal. A lot of investors, at least in my area, are not using Investor Lift. Okay, they're not checking it like they are the MLS every day. They either don't have time for it, they're unfamiliar with it, or they maybe had a bad experience with a lot of fly-by-night wholesalers that are on that website. So they're not really using this. So if you want to go in there and say, hey, I'm going to mark this property up $5,000, see if they're willing to do a deal on it, I would highly recommend using Investor Lift as well. Again, the free version's not costing you anything else. Guys, the most important part, and this is what I see everybody fail on, is the follow-ups. You've spent all the money. You've pulled the list. You've made 100 phone calls a day. You're driving around the city all day long, but you drop the ball when it comes to just following up with people who say, call me in a week, call me tomorrow, call me at this time. Okay, that's really, really important on doing the follow-ups. We want to actually call people. You should be on the phone hours every single day, especially in the beginning, in order to get this done, okay? Guys, if you have any questions about this, if you need a link for PropStream or Smart Contact, I have a link in the description below. You can click on that link and you can check it out. I think they all have free trials, but if you only had $1,000, is exactly what I would do on a personal level. Now, disclaimer on this as well. As soon as I get that deal, as soon as I get that 10 or 15K check, I would immediately put that right back in the business and I would scale all this up, especially if you're a one-man band. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. What would you do to get a deal if you only had your last $1,000?